The salvage team is not willing to take any unnecessary risks and wants to control the situation as best it can. Experts believe the sea, the swells, the tides will eventually break up the ship, with all the implications that this can bring. They believe that stabilising the wreck by sinking the stern is the right course of action. All options were explored, with the salvors and independent experts advising the Port Authority and the government that this is the best plan. It aims to ensure the wreck is secured in place as far away as possible and that the potential for pollution is minimised to give the salvors the best chance of recovering the vessel as efficiently and quickly as possible. Salvage consultant Eric Houtteman says that by definition the OS-35 has already sunk and can be considered as two pieces: a forward section 73 metres long and an aft section 105 metres long. The two sections are held together by cracked, bent and buckled steel, with the ship having lost its structural integrity. The forward three-quarters of the ship are damaged and flooded and resting heavily in around 2 metres of sandy seabed in around 15 metres of water. This means it's pinned down, which gives it a stability that the aft section, where there is buoyancy from the dry cargo hold and engine room, does not have, as it's still lifted from the seabed by several metres. The danger is this section is light enough to be moved and twisted during heavy weather, especially since the hull has already been pivoting. The idea now is to further sink the whole ship, so that it rests on the seabed in its entirety, so that it can't move or twist with the movements of the swell, tide and wind. Although the risk of pollution cannot be eliminated entirely, the plan aims to minimise this risk. The OS-35 suffered the collision with an LNG tanker on the 29th of August. Although it had a gash on the starboard of 10 by 4 metres and water was getting in, it was generally not in a bad condition and no oil was leaking. Experts today praised the decision to beach it, saying the best had been made of a bad situation, as the risk of it having sunk in deep waters would have made the recovery of the oil, cargo and wreck 4 times harder, as well as posing a risk to ship traffic. 2 days after the collision, as a cofferdam to patch the gash was being built, the situation was further complicated as the ship buckled, and refloating it was no longer an option. Oil then started leaking. But the weather has so far been kind. Ahead of a deterioration in weather conditions, the emphasis now is on ensuring the wreck does not move uncontrollably, making further salvage and recovery operations harder. The main issue was safety of the crew and avoiding an oil spill. But there are many other polluting factors, and work to empty the ship of floating and loose items as much as possible has been ongoing. Booms will be in place during the course of tomorrow, and these will then be removed to protect them from the weather. Captain of the port, John Guillot, expects the site to be totally cleared before next summer, with a scaled salvage operation to start as soon as possible. The wreck's condition will be monitored constantly, and all options will continue to be explored. Tomorrow's operation is expected to take around 6 hours.